What's good? We back. Your boy CJ Goodfellow. You know what we doing. Talking that real NFL prediction-ish. And later on in the week, we're going with some fantasy talk as well. And, let's kick it off. First, Thursday, we got, Kansas City and New England. We're going to do some brief pick-ems. And then we're going to get into some of the major games of the week. And we're going to really harp on those and speak on those. But, Kansas City versus New England. I just think New England's just too strong. Alex Smith doesn't, can't keep up with Tom Brady. He's too safety first. Maybe in a make or break year for him. I think this is a contract year, and Pat Mahomes breathing down his neck. Maybe he start letting the ball rip, but I just don't think that's in his nature. I think early on in his career with San Francisco, he was a broken guy. Harbaugh tried to fix him, made him pretty much good. Just a safety-first quarterback. I like New England in that game. If you want a point spread, check the TJ Sports Corner and Entertainment. I did a point spread early on the points, and I picked all of them with points. So check that out. It's right on the page, Facebook. Atlanta, Chicago. Now, in a parlay bet or point spread bet, that's one of the ones I look at as tough. Because mentally, I don't know how Atlanta's going to bounce back. And when you take a dome team and put them outside in Chicago, even though I know it's not cold, windy, or whatever it is, I think Chicago is going to be better than what people think, especially in this game. I don't know where Atlanta is, but Atlanta is so high-powered. Of course, I'm going to take Atlanta, but, if that was one of those times that I gamble, I would gamble on. If Chicago had a better quarterback situation, their defense is going to be good. It's going to continue to grow, but I'll take Atlanta. Cincinnati, Baltimore, that's something easy to go over. I'll take Cincinnati. Baltimore is just a team in transition. Quarterback got back injuries. Pittsburgh and Cleveland is another one. If you're banking on Le'Veon Bell doing something, I'll get into that later. I think he's going to get injured early. For the mission training camp, he got a long history of injuries. Maybe James Conner can carry the load. I'm surprised they didn't bring back D'Angelo Williams, that's from Carolina. But I still like Pittsburgh here. I don't know if Cleveland got the glue enough together, and I think Deshaun Kaiser, that Pittsburgh front seven is gonna give some trouble. But the back end is a healing process for them. Even with Joe Hayden coming back to Cleveland, I still like Pittsburgh. Arizona, Detroit. It's no secret I'm a Detroit Lions fan. Remember, Arizona popped us by like 50 points a couple years ago. Most definitely a different team, in my opinion. But I still like Arizona here, man. Probably about 10 points plus. Detroit's inability to run the ball. They invested $130 million, I think, into Matthew Stafford. Just not being able to run the ball, being one-dimensional. I understand that Arizona got the Honey Badger coming off a knee injury. And they got a couple new corners, but I still like that front seven. The Detroit Lions offensive line should be outstanding. It depends on the Lions running backs, theoretic. Amir Abdullah making matchups outside, and where Carson Palmer is. But I'm a bet on the Arizona Cardinals in that one. Jacksonville and Houston. Take Houston just based off of Jacksonville's quarterback situation. But Jacksonville defense should be good, but the offense is going to put them in bonds that they can't get out of and make them look worse than what they is. Tampa, Miami is most likely being canceled. Oakland and Tennessee I talk about as one of the major matchups. Philly and Washington is a good one. I really don't know where Washington is as a team, especially with Kirk Cousins, milking the team and where they are mentally. I like Carson Wentz to show out this week. I think they win by 3 points. I think that's what I bet them to win by. I like Philly in 3, even in Washington. Alshon Jeffrey shows up. Torrey Smith shows up. Carson Wentz is on point, in my opinion. Indianapolis, L.A. Indianapolis starting Scott Tozine. That's all you need to know. Todd Gurley has a big day. Kind of a fantasy sleeper. Giving you one ahead of tomorrow. I like the Rams in that one by quite a few. Probably about 6, 7, 8 points. Seattle, Green Bay is another major matchup I'll get to a little later. New York, Dallas is another matchup I'll get to later. The 2 Monday night matchup. A lot of people are picking Minnesota because they're at the crib. I don't trust Sam Bradford, and I understand I trust the New Orleans offense. but I would trust Drew Brees' arm going against that Minnesota defense. I think they're going to be able to protect Drew Brees. He's elusive in the pocket. He buys time. He's going to strike and throw some touchdowns. I think he edges. And I like L.A. Chargers over to Denver just for the simple fact Chargers got a better team, a better offense, in my opinion. But it's one of the matchups we'll get into. Oakland and Tennessee. Terrell Davis actually predicted these guys to be in the AFC Championship game. It's going to be a battle of, Oakland's front seven versus Tennessee's offensive line. Tennessee offensive line is one of the best in the business. Going to be number one soon. DeMarco Henry, Derrick Henry. See how much that Oakland Raiders defense has advanced. Pick the Oakland Raiders, man. I'm going to pick the Raiders, and I don't pretty much know why. Their defense was horrible last year. Hopefully they gel together. When you put all these free agent acquisitions together, it never really works, in my opinion. In Oakland, and Khalil Mack is going to have his hands full with Taylor Wine. That's going to be a good matchup. Taylor Wine going to have his hands full with Khalil Mack. But I think Derek Carr just makes a few more throws. I think Marshawn Lynch, I don't think he's going to be a major factor until he's really getting broken in. I think he's going to have a solid day. I think DeMarco Murray is a fantasy stud here. I think he's going to run wild. And we'll see, man. Corey Davis is a guy that had injuries. I don't know if he's going to play. Receiver-wise, man, I like Marcus Mariota. He's very accurate and very careful with the ball. So this is going to be a good matchup. This can go either way. I'm going to take Oakland. I think I took them by a few points. I think they're a little bit more physical. Not going to say physical. I think they're just a little bit more talented and more ahead of where Tennessee is. Tennessee was going to take that step and make the playoffs last year, but Mariota got injured, so they're behind a little bit. But I think they should run the ball with Derrick Henry a little bit more, mix him in a little bit more, and get behind that line and let, Murray and Henry abuse them, set up, Delaney Walker down the middle, down the seams. Eric Decker's a good red zone target. See if Corey Davis is ready as well. That'll be an interesting factor to see how it goes. And for Oakland, it's the Cooper show. He showed up a little bit more muscled up to beat press. Michael Crabtree had one of the most highest drop rates, and that's uncharacteristic for him. I look for him to bounce back and have a great year as well. I look for Marshawn Lynch to take some time to get his feet wet, to regain that beast mode, stigma he had. I think Jared Cook, if they target him, hopefully he can get on track for what he did for Green Bay last year. I think that's very important for him. But I like Oakland by a few points, but it's not one of my most confident picks. But I'm going to take Oakland just because I think they're a little bit ahead. Green Bay and Seattle, another solid, rematch over the years from the failed Mary to Rodgers choking and Green Bay choking in the NFC Championship game. The Seahawks down a few years ago. I like Seattle a lot, man. Especially with the addition of Sheldon Richardson. I think that can reinvigorate that defense, in my opinion. I thought Seattle was a team that was dead. I think they were searching for a new identity without Marshawn Lynch. And I just thought after that Super Bowl fallout against the Patriots and throwing the pick, I just didn't think the team would ever be the same. Still kind of don't think it, but I think Sheldon Richardson from New York Jets, if he can come in and put all that bullshit behind him, high-speed chases and that immature shit he was doing with the Jets behind him, this team is destined to be one of the top teams in the NFC. With him in there and Michael Bennett and Cliff Avril, they should be the best defensive line this year, in my opinion. Should keep Bobby Wagner clean in Green Bay. We all know they got that bad man in Aaron Rodgers, but this is one of the sorriest Green Bay defenses I could say I seen. But Clay Matthews, they moving around, and a lot of people think he's falling off as a player. No, he's just moving to the middle and the outside, being the team player, and it's hurting his status in the league. He needs one position. He needs to either be on the outside or be in the middle. When you can do more than one thing, people tend to hang on you and rely on you too much. And it's hurting his reputation around the league, in my opinion, amongst, the aficionados. But that defense is piss poor. They got some young corners. The dude out of Washington. We know we got Ha Clinton Dick still there. The linebacker crew is in transition without, they lost A.J. Hawk a few years ago. Nick Perry is injured. I don't think Dayton Jones is up front anymore. Mike Neal, one of the big guys, made a name for himself. B.J. Raji, he retired. I mean, that defense is just terrible. And Russell Wilson has quietly been putting up good numbers over the years, even while injured. If he's fully healthy, you know, I look for him to tear up Green Bay. I look for Aaron Rodgers to have a good day in Lambeau. Sort of like that Lambeau mystique that's there. But the ability of them not getting a running back, man, that's going to hurt them. If you want dimensional versus Seattle, especially with Sheldon Richardson, it's going to hurt you. I think I like Seattle. I forgot about how much, but I like Seattle in that one. And then the mother of all mother loads, New York Giants versus the Dallas Cowboys. I don't know if Zeke going to be there, but the New York Giants always have to play the Dallas Cowboys tough. The Dallas Cowboys always play the New York Giants tough. The Giants won 2 times last year, swept them. Eli Manning won the first game, regular season game in the Jerry world. Eli Manning somehow always ekes out a win versus Dallas, especially an important win. Thing about the Giants this year is the simple fact that up front is a question mark. Running back is a question mark. I don't understand why they didn't bring in AP. But their defense is legit. Linebacker core is probably their weakness. But when you got, you know, guys up front that can keep those linebackers clean, Snacks, JPP, Olivier, what's his name? Martin, whatever this hell name is, he's a fucking beast. Landon Collins, I think, is the best safety in the NFL. I don't care. Earl Thomas, Cam Chancellor, move y'all old asses over. Landon Collins is his real MVP. And you got the corners in Eli Apple, DRC, Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie, and you got Jack Rabbit, Janoris Jenkins, who my Lions passed up many years ago. I was very pissed about that. But Dallas is no slouch. They read up with Taco Charlton, Jordan Lewis in the front of Dallas. Somebody always steps up and gets a sack. They just don't have that one guy that you hone in on, and that can be a strength or a weakness sometimes. And I like Sean Lee. I just like I like the direction that Dallas is going in. You know, bringing in, you know, guys like Jordan Lewis, revamping their cornerbacks. Dak Prescott, I think he's going to show the world that, you know, Zeke didn't make him, or the offensive line didn't just make him. He was an integral part of that offense. And I think him and Witten is going to have a big day. Dez Bryant has always played tough by those Giants DBs. I don't know if Odell's going to play, Sterling Shepard going to play. I don't know. But I don't like the prospects of, Eli Manning potentially dropping back more than 30 times without a running game. I have to see it to believe it. I understand that the rookie Evan Ingram is going to bring a different dimension for them, a real good tight end. But I'm going to have to go with the Dallas Cowboys, the team that I desperately hate. But I love some Dak Prescott. I like the Cowboys to win in Jerry World. I like Dak Prescott, even with or without Zeke, to take the step forward and win. And we'll come back with some fantasy talk.